Okay, so today we're going to talk about the shoulder girdle and then specifically this little fan-shaped muscle underneath here called your serratus anterior. So I got Phil here as my model and demo. So we have our ball and socket part of the shoulder here. And then Phil, turn this way towards the camera. And we all know we have this like shoulder blade back here, right? So that shoulder blade is really what moves around. Rotator cuff and deltoid control this, but everything else that is important about that shoulder girdle and really allows this to do its job comes from here. So that shoulder blade and all the muscles that control it are super important. Now we have our levator scapula, we have our upper trap, we have our rhomboids, we have our middle, we have our lower trap, we have our pec minor in the front. There's lots of things, but most specifically, go ahead and raise that arm up for me, is underneath here, again, if someone's lean enough, you can see it's like a fan-shaped muscle. Looks kind of like ribs, but a little bit different right here called your serratus, and that is the muscle that's responsible for kind of pulling the shoulder blade forward. Go ahead and bring that back down. But here's the thing. Tons of people have lots of tension up here in that upper trap and levator spot. And I think the point that I want to make is that since there's so many muscles that attach to this shoulder blade, is that we want to think about it as a force couple, meaning we don't use a lot of this stuff in isolation. All those muscles have to work together to produce the movement that we want and do so in a coordinated fashion. So if we have a lot of tension here, sometimes that just means that that's getting either overworked, I'm using quotes here, overworked, or we're just like maybe like overusing it or doing things that are too much. But sometimes it's because it is unopposed, or it's doing all the work and some of the other muscles that we know about aren't doing their fair share. So tons and tons of times in PT and literature and all kinds of stuff, the lower trap and that serratus just aren't like firing, they're not doing enough. So again, if these two aren't like pulling their weight, that poor upper trap and levator are just doing all the work. They're going to get mad, they're going to get cranky, they're going to get sore, they're going to get tight. So our job in rehab is to get this to turn on and get that to turn on. And that way try to create more of a balance in that shoulder girdle, and a lot of times that can help alleviate symptoms. So just a little food for thought as we're talking about if you got these tight upper traps, maybe there's a weakness somewhere, maybe it's a little bit of a postural thing, maybe it's a breathing thing, there's all kinds of things. But at the end of the day, if we can get that whole shoulder, and especially that shoulder blade, that shoulder girdle stronger, a lot of things get better.